Actually, if you could walk with me this way, I am going to take you in front of the exhibit, like, tells about the exhibit. Okay, so my name is Penina. I am the Jewish Life and Israeli Engagement Manager here at the JCC. I have only been here for almost 1 year on August 20th, and I'm really enjoying all of the opportunities that I've been afforded. One of the opportunities was a trip to Israel this past December with the JCCA and the I Center for Jewish educators to learn how to teach about October 7th. And also for us to recognize that it's not just about everyone that died, but it's also about the people of Israel and how they carry on and live their lives. Because so often we can really focus on how someone died and we forget that they had these full, beautiful lives that we should remember. I don't know about you guys, but from after October 7th happened, I felt really impotent. I felt like I couldn't do anything, and I just had this like inner struggle of just wanting to activate. And I had 2 small babies that had just turned 1, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't get on a plane and run away to Israel, and I didn't have thousands of dollars to donate. So I started being an Instagram warrior and activating that way, and actually being here is a huge part of bringing meaning to my life and for the Jewish people and for Israel. So long story short, right? So this exhibit is a way for us to really feel powerful in a situation where we are not in power, that there are things that we can do that aren't just running there or donating our life savings, although that's important too, especially in the JCC. No, I'm kidding. Plug. This is a multi-sensory exhibit. It's meant to be lived and experienced, not just with your eyes, but with your ears and with your hands. And I welcome you to walk with me, and I'll take you through the exhibit. Gosh, do we want to start here? This is the whole wall from here through there is all dedication to the Nova Festival, where 240 individuals were murdered on October 7th. Forgive me if the statistic is not correct, but they were there for a peace festival, a music festival for peace, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, the sirens went off and bombs were happening, and paragliders came in with terrorists on it, and they horrifically murdered these dancing women, men, old, young, and I just wanted to share with you some of my feelings being in this location. This is one of the DJs that was at the festival, and family members and loved ones have created memorials to the individuals that perished. So it's like a graveyard to them and their lives.
Are these all photos that you took?
They are.
Okay.
I thought that this was just so poignant with the Jewish star carved into a tree. This Mizmor LaTodah, remembering for good, was at one of the memorials. This tree I thought was extremely beautiful. I couldn't capture how meaningful it was in the photograph, just with the dappled sunlight coming through on all of these prayers for the people that had been lost, tied to the tree. And you can see that they went all the way up here and then here, and there's even some up here. All of the stories in between are of people, their life stories. There's some from rainforest, there's some from the kibbutzim like Kfar Aza, and I really welcome you to take time and read their stories because their lives were important. Their deaths mean something, but their lives mean more. Ephraim, I would love for you to tell the story of this. So if I tell it, is it okay if I tell it? And I hope I do it justice. Ephraim, after October 7th, went to Israel to help out with PTSD dogs, is that correct? That were given to IDF soldiers. It was his passion to train dogs, and he took that opportunity to go help there. And this individual, Dor Shafir, he had a PTSD dog, and he was murdered at the festival, and Ephraim was chosen or volunteered to go pick up the dog from his family where they were taking care of him in his absence, and I can't even imagine what that was like. And the update now is that even though the dog was taken at that point, they have the dog back now, and he is their dog and is providing comfort for the family after losing their son and his partner. To me, this is like one of my favorite photos. The words, the rocks. My mom passed away 2 years ago, and every time I go visit her, I leave a painted rock, not just a regular rock. Not that there's anything wrong with regular rocks. I mean, there's plenty of beautiful rocks, but I try to leave stuff with palm trees and things that she loved on them, and I've gotten my kids involved. And so seeing these words of hope or pain peppered with memorial candles. If you don't know what a yard site candle is, on the memorial of someone's death, you light a candle that goes for 24 hours to, bring their light back into the world and honor them. This, with the help of my amazing co-captain, we recreated one of the memorials, and the thing that struck me the most about this memorial is the Israeli flag that was billowing in the wind. And when we installed the piece, the air conditioning was blowing perfectly to recreate the blowing wind that I saw when I was there. I want to take you over here. This is Ben Shimoni. Ben Shimoni is amazing, and when we arrived on our trip to the Nova site, our buses, they gave us each a piece of paper with someone's story on it so that we could connect with a person there and their story. And so I would walk through the memorials and finally found my person. And I think that I was kind of numb at first when I was there. It was almost too much emotion to handle at once. And then when I found him, it was it poured out of me at that point. I was able to grieve. His mother's name is Penina, which is my name, and his oldest brother, is named Avinoam, and my son's name is Avidan Noam. So it was it was too much, too close to home. But he saved multiple people from the Nova Festival. He was there, and he took the opportunity to drive away in his car with people, and he could have stayed when he got to safety, but instead he kept going back, and he went back 3 times, and I believe on the 3rd time is when he lost his life. This to me, I look at this and the guy just looks exactly like the picture. So I didn't know if maybe this was his girlfriend, or this is his brother and they look just alike. Who knows what the story is, but it just was very meaningful. If you come over here, I saw this. This was like a tree that was lit up during the festival, and someone had taken a picture of it and then blown it up on a tarp, and they hung it as a memorial in the forest. And I just wanted to create the feeling of light and joy of that night. If you read the Hebrew, it talks about like, Eze kef, how cool. It says, Kol ha'anashim shani hachi ho'ohevet nimsaim. Like all the people that I love are found. And it's like, this is the life, this is the life, this is the best night of my life. Like just that beauty, I just want to be able to recreate that. At the festival, we spoke with Aviel's sister, and she shared his life, and that was extremely hard. Shani Gabai, she was thought to have been a hostage, and her body was only found by mistake. They had buried her with another woman. They had hid out in a ambulance car, and the terrorists set the ambulance on fire, and their skulls were fused together, and so the people that recovered their bodies thought that it was one person, and so they buried them, and they found her necklace later on when they were combing the area, and it had some DNA on it from the other person, and that's how they knew. And they asked permission from the other person's family to exhume the body, and then found out I met her parents, and just their pain and their like action to try to bring the rest of the hostages home was, I just can't even believe how they have rallied. This is something that I would really like to bring to the JCC. I have hopes to do this as part of our October 7th commemoration. Livnat is the mom in this picture. She was an artist, and she made these beautiful wings of hope on the wall of the kibbutz. They collected used and broken toys and then sorted them into colors, and then she glued or adhered them to the wings, and so it made up this beautiful, like, not everything that is old and broken, it can be reused, you know. The whole family was murdered in their home. Okay, so we will go around here, and then we'll end on the other wall, and hopefully we'll end with a little bit more hope. It was Hanukkah time, Festival of Lights when I was there, or right before Hanukkah, and they gifted us this yellow hostage candle holder, and gave us candles for all 8 nights, and asked us to light an additional candle every night with our menorah. So I wanted to recreate this structure from Hostage Square and bring it to you guys. All of the stories that are in between these are stories of heroism, because I really wanted to show that there wasn't only pain on that day, even though there was a lot of it. There were people that rallied and stood up and helped and fought back, those stories need to be told as well. This is a structure from the Hostage Square. It is interactive, so once we're done with the tour, I'd really love it if you guys could each take a heart and write your hopes for the world, for the hostages, for Israel on it, and take a string and tie it to the home. We hope that all the hostages will come home. And then this is micro, like you can see up close what like some of the people wrote on the one in Hostage Square. I believe that this stays all the time, this graffiti about bringing them home, but most of the structures in Hostage Square, they change, and you have different installations. So what I saw in December might be something different than if you were to go there now.
So where do they put the holders?
That is a very good question that I do not know the answer to, but I will look into that. This one is like supposed to be reminiscent of the tunnels and like families coming up and being freed from the tunnels. This started with Sukkot, I believe. They changed the plates and they changed the settings all the time based on the holiday. Yeah, it's just, okay, please walk with me this way.
I mean, we're staying in Tel Aviv, so I'll be there.
This was one of the chairs taken from Ofer's burnt house in Kibbutz Nir Oz. So it sits there with all the burns on it. This says, "Anachnu hayeladim shel choref, Shnat 2023." That means we are the children of the hostages, and it's the year 2023. They had like multiple tents there with people speaking in different languages to tell the stories of what happened. And this woman spoke in Hebrew only, and for some reason I felt like I should challenge myself and go into the Hebrew tent. And recently in the war with Iran, the last person that died was an old woman who looks just like this woman, and I wasn't able to confirm whether it was her or not, but that wrecked me. This is pretty self-explanatory, but I want to bring you over to this one. This is an exhibit of a chained heart. It says, "One giant heart in chains, tightly bound, almost suffocated. It weeps with sorrow, aching deep, yet it beats, bravely beats." This heart art piece was originally created to stand in the setting of a colorful and joyous festival. After the October 7th terror attack, this piece got a whole new horrible meaning. Like our own hearts, it has been chained and will not be unchained until every single one of our hostages comes back home. This is the tunnel recreation that sits in Hostage Square, and the Hebrew words say "Vayihi or," which means "let there be light," because it's so dark in the tunnels, and it's something that we as Jews always say, like, let there be light. We want to bring light into the world, and this says bring Hirsch Goldberg home, Poland home, because Hirsch was a student here at the preschool. He was a student at the Jewish day school here, and he was loved, and it was horrible for him to have been killed. Let's take you over here. This guy, Yosef Ziadna, he is a Bedouin minibus driver who saved 30 people from the Nova Festival. He was honored with lighting a torch at Israel's Yom HaAtzmaut ceremony for people that have, the state of Israel. We got to hear him talk. We met with him, and what struck me about the experience of meeting with him, he only spoke in Hebrew, and he kept saying the phrase "Bnei Adam." I'm Bnei Adam. I'm a Bnei Adam, and these were Bnei Adams, and that means like a human, a son of man, and and just like the fact that like he was like, how could I not go and save them? He would drive this guy that contracted him to multiple festivals with his friends, and he dropped him off and went home to go to sleep because he didn't have to get up until the morning. And he turned his he didn't turn his phone off, but he turned it on silent because he said it was Shabbat, and he doesn't work on Shabbat. And in the morning he woke up to his phone had been going off over and over, and his wife was like, you need to look into that. And it was the guy telling him, please come save us. And he could only fit, like the minibus had 14 seats, and he saved 30 people. It was incredible. And he came home from saving all these people to find out that his family members had become hostages. And I know for sure one of them died, who had the same name as him. And I was on a group chat where they sent it out and sent his picture out. His family member that has the same name as him looks exactly like him. And I remember writing a response back saying, he didn't die, I just saw him, he's fine, he's not in Gaza. And they're like, no, he did. And I'm like, no. Not realizing that many Sephardi and other people around the world, their culture, they name people after living people, whereas like Ashkenazi Jews, like Eastern European Jews, they name only after dead. So just this is an exhibit. They took us on the last day to Kfar HaMaccabiyah, which is a museum for Maccabi. And all of us were thinking, like, why would they do this? Like, what does this have to do with it? Because we needed to see the strength of the Jewish people, that throughout history we have been treated effeminate, treated without power, and yet we decided to take that power back and become sports people that won medals, and gymnasts that broke their ankle and still competed and won awards. This guy was a cyclist, and he went out that morning without his partner, and he was murdered on his ride, and now his wife rides for him with his riding partner. And is continuing to go for him. And she donated his bicycle to this exhibit that was all about sports people that had been murdered on that day. So not just Jews, but Bedouins, Arabs, everyone. Okay, this is Lital. I know this is very small, so if anyone wants it bigger, I can definitely offer that. But Lital was one of the Israelis that they brought on the trip with us that do similar work to JCC professionals. So she wrote me a little blurb. I asked her to write me a small blurb of who she is. And this is actually her is an interview, her testimony of what happened in October 7th, because she lives just outside of Sderot. It's really. Okay, so she wrote, Lital Tsarnis, 41 years old. I live in Givim Shar Negev, Gaza envelope. I am mother to Ofri, 8.5 years old, and Samson, the cowardly dog. I am director of the Children and Youth Department in my city. There is no English word for my city. It is a municipality made up of kibbutzim, so it is similar to a city. I think my life's mission, as God wrote it for me, is to spread the light of love and compassion. I love you and send light and love all the way to the United States. She was all light the trip, and I was so honored to be able to make this connection with her. I hope lasts forever. So she made me go out on our first night there to a bar in Tel Aviv, her and her friend. And these guys were performing there that night. And he asked me if he could sing to me to warm up. And he sang only in Spanish. And I had expected Hebrew. And so to have him, he was, of course, he had finished his IDF service, and like all good IDF people, they go to South America afterwards on a trip, and he just picked up Spanish. This was my favorite part of the trip. We, after the Nova Festival, we went to a moshav. It's called Tekuma. It's a religious community in the Negev, just 7 kilometers from the Gaza border. There we met with Diganit Bar Chai, and the parents of Shani Gabai, who I told you the story about before. Diganit is a 3rd-generation Holocaust survivor on her father's side, and her mother's family fled the 1929 riots. For the past 25 years, Diganit has called the community of Tekuma home. She is a Bible teacher and an agricultural youth counselor for at-risk youth. She's passionate about connecting people to the land and believes in the value of hard work and the deep bond between humans and nature. Her family's vineyards and orchards have been an essential part of her life in Tekuma. After October 7th, they decided to stay while so many people were like, leave, get out, and protect yourself. She said, the land is important, and I must be here in order to work the land. I think that it's beautiful to note that there are approximately 26 mitzvos or commandments that are land dependent, and they can only be performed in the land of Israel. They're not applicable in the diaspora, and they are referred to as mitzvot hatluyot ba'eretz, or commandments dependent on the land of Israel. So don't let anyone tell you that it's not our land, because there's things we can only do there. Indigenous. I just love the fact that this is Shalom Aleichem Street. This is Yiddish giant, and we were staying right off that street, so I felt like it needed to be done. This is us in the Mamad, which is a stairwell right outside of my room at 3 o'clock in the morning when the Houthis decided to send ballistic missiles.
When were you there?
In December.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So this is not the momentum trip. You went just with your family? I'm confused.
I will tell. Let me finish walking through the exhibit. Part of what I really love graffiti. I think it's a beautiful art form when it's done well. And when I first started my position here, I took JCCEA does all of this continuing education, and they have all of this classes on Israel and the land of Israel, and it was all about graffiti and Israeli graffiti artists after October 7th and how their art had changed. And I would really love to bring it here because it was amazing. And then here we have, I'm gonna probably say this wrong, the Tatzpulianot. You gonna say it for me, Ephraim?
Histaklu lehem ba'anayim.
No. Okay, so these women, I can't say it, but these women are, their job was to watch the fence in Gaza for any activities and report it. And they had been reporting it for weeks and were not listened to, that something was going on. And they were all taken hostage. I don't know if you've seen any of those videos of them, and they are all actually home. They are the ones that were paraded at the hostage release in Gaza. They would do like ceremonies and have them sign things. I have been wanting to go to this museum since 2019. It is 2 blocks from the hotel that we stayed at, in a old defunct hotel that they've recreated to be an art museum with each room transformed by different artists. This is the 3rd installation, so they've done a different one each year with different artists. The rooms change. and it actually has 3 different bars downstairs that you can choose from. It's called, the whole place is called the Imperial Hotel Wonderland, and this year's theme was escapism. You can read the thing about it. This is like from the artists, they wrote it. But like, just to give you a little bit, this is all about post peace in society. There will be no war. There will be no need for an Israeli IDF. And like he said, like the last sentence is, when you grow up, there will be no more army. This one talks about how this year, more than ever, we all had the thought of leaving everything and just running away. Even if we couldn't say it out loud, we considered taking this step. Resign, disconnect, recalculate a course. But in the end, we stayed. And now, when it is so difficult and complex and heavy in the heart, we run away from time to another place. I mean, physically we are here, but the head and soul go out to ventilate, reset, recover. The figure on the scale is each and every one of us. In the difficult moments, we take our heads out of the endless loop of reality, disconnect, take a breath, and hope that when we come back down, it will be better here.
What city is that?
It's in Tel Aviv.
Oh,
Yeah. This one really took me. This is one of the exhibits also. The whole room was black, and it had these like water droplets, but they're not water. Huh?
Is it press
And
here,
it says,
reset
press
the-
here to reset the world. Don't we all wish we had a button? And then this was the beginning of my trip when I got there, and then this was the end of my trip. This is the babies and the mom that were killed. I'm blanking right now on names because, huh?
Bibas family.
Yeah, the Bibas family. Yeah, I'm just a little tired, forgive me. But when their bodies came home, the dad went and removed all of the items there, so you can't even see it anymore. But just no words. And this was really, really meaningful for me. This is in Hostage Square. This beautiful tree acting as an umbrella for this man sitting in the shade reading. And it was like this sense of peace and calm in all of this pain that I think really represents Israel in a nutshell, and the Jewish people, is that we go on. You know, there's things that happen to us, but you know, there's no luxury to lay down. We have to go on. We pick up the pieces. We move to another place. We start again. And that's the whole point of what Israel was supposed to be for us, is that we wouldn't have to move again. It's supposed to be our place of peace and not having people kill us. And my hope is for one day for that to be true. And last but not least, this is a piano for the hostage Alon, who is a concert pianist, and I think that the most updated thing is that he has lost sight in one eye, and the other eye is losing as well, but he keeps himself sane by playing on his chest with his fingers, and he loved songs like Claire de Lune, and there's one of his favorite songs was a song called Superman. And yesterday we were honored by a concert pianist stopping by to become a member here at the JCC, and he played the most beautiful long Rachmaninoff. For us, it was so long, but it was so lovely, and there's no way I would have told him to stop because it was just amazing. And I sent it to a friend who is supposed to have dinner with his parents next week, to hopefully show it to them in honor of Alon. So, thank you so much for coming to my exhibit and listening to my stories. I really appreciate all of you. Am Yisrael Chai.
Yisrael Chai.
Great job.